You're tuned in to Rebooting Liberty.
Have you ever wanted to have your own radio show? Rebooting Liberty Radio Network currently has openings for live programs. For a very small fee, we will create a show intro, bumper music, and provide technical production for your hour-long show. Email producer@rebootingliberty.com for details. You can find us at live.rebootingliberty.com.
I'm about to whip somebody's ass. Oh, I'm about to whip somebody's ass. Oh, if you don't leave me alone, you're gonna have to send me home, 'cause I'm about to whip somebody's ass.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator.
Classified my ass.
Government is another way to say better than you.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Revear Common Sense Show.
Want the Sackheads to give you a blessing?
8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
Warning: this show may contain language not suitable to children.
And welcome to the Reverb Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe. How's everybody doing today? Hey, we got a lot to go over. Real quick, over our night, it was close to their morning. France raided, I want to say an apartment. I don't know which ones they got, but they were reporting that the mastermind of the Paris attack was in there. There was, I believe, the reports are going back and forth where there was one female. She escaped the apartment, then detonated a suicide vest. Another one on the inside of the apartment was killed by a sniper. And there's supposed to be two more in there. There's reports that a total of 3 terrorists dead. I know there was one civilian being reported as injured, or killed, sorry. French are not taking this too lightly. They are doing everything they can to find out who did those attacks. So, I started poking around. Another thing, we have to, the mass media did not touch on these. November 12th, there was a suicide bombing in Beirut, Lebanon. ISIS killed 43, wounded 240 people. That happened in Beirut. Now, in the West Bank, Mount Hebron, on November 13th, I know nobody has taken responsibility for it. Looks like 2 dead and 2 injured. Baghdad, Iraq, on the 13th, ISIS, another bombing. It killed 19 and wounded. And it wounded about 33 people. And ISIS has claimed responsibility for that attack. And we know about Paris. Nigeria on the 17th, which was yesterday. Boko Haram. There was a bombing in Yola, Nigeria, 32 dead, 80 wounded. Nobody has taken responsibility, but Boko Haram is suspected, which is a part of Al-Qaeda. I believe they joined up with Al-Qaeda now. there has been a bunch of attacks that have happened lately, but the mass media has not been reporting it. I mean, it just keeps going. I'm going back, and the pages are lit. Almost every day, there seems to be some kind of attack, whether it's on ISIS or Israel-Palestine conflict, Boko Haram. It just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. When are we going to get up off our ass and do something about this? Are we going to just keeping on trucking and trying to ignore what's going on outside this world? Because it is going to happen inside this country soon. We're not going to be saying, oh, it was a lone wolf. There's going to be some nasty attacks. Oh, it's sickening looking through this and how much the mass media does not touch on this. It's sickening. The Beirut, Lebanon. I remember they reported initially what happened. Then, gone. Nothing. 43 dead, 240 wounded. It was a suicide bomber detonated a bike loaded with explosives. A bike. And now we know the Russian plane that was taken down was ISIS. They had snuck a bomb onto the plane and they detonated it. An immigrant from Muslim-dominated Bangladesh who applied for and received U.S. citizenship tried to incite people to travel to Somalia and conduct violent jihad against the United States. He was arrested in Texas in 2014. And July 15th, a Cuban immigrant inspired by Islamic extremists plotted to explode a backpack bomb filled with nails on a beach in Key West. An immigrant from Guam who applied for and received U.S. citizenship pledged allegiance to ISIS and plotted a terrorist attack on the U.S. soil. He attacked an FBI agent with a large kitchen knife when the agent was searching his home in June in Staten Island, New York. The search was connected to an investigation stemming from the weekend arrest of a 20-year-old U.S. citizen charged with conspiring to provide material support to ISIS. That was somewhat reported on CNN. An immigrant from Saudi living in North Virginia who applied for and received U.S. citizenship tried to join ISIS and wage jihad on its behalf after having been recruited online. He pled guilty in a federal court in June of 2015 to provide material support to ISIS. And as a friend, according to court records, is now a member of the ISIS fighting force in Syria. Yeah, and everything's hunky-dory. They're containing it. They're the JV team. Right. I mean, I figured it out. Obama said that they were contained. Now, I figured out. It wasn't him. The whole world, misunderstood what he said. When he said contained, he was actually meaning contained to this planet. That had to be his statement that we misunderstood, that he contained to the planet. Because now even the White House is doubling. I mean, they are just sticking their foot further down their throat. They are doubling down on the contained comment, but saying they understand that they have gone to other places. They're in other areas. Psst, moron. That is not the definition of contained. Again, this is where we need to have that Dictionaries for Democrat fund drive. We need, especially the press secretary, we need to get him a dictionary. We need to get the president, the vice president, Congress, all together Congress, all of them, because they don't understand basic words. And the list is growing. One day I'm going to actually write it down and put them on my website of all the words they don't understand, affordable, contained. The list just keeps going on and on. I just can't think of all of them right now. But also, I'm going to continue with this list of incidents that happened in the United States that is directly related to terrorists. So, a Muslim immigrant from Yemen who applied for and received U.S. citizenship along with 6 other men living in Minnesota as a member of a refugee family were charged in April of 2015 with conspiring to travel to Syria to provide material support to ISIS. A Somali refugee would lawful permanent resident status, along with 4 other Somalian nationals, were charged July 23, 2014 with leading al-Shabaab, terrorist funding conspiracy in the United States with monthly payments directly to the Somalia terrorist organization. Ooh. Another immigrant from Kazakhstan with lawful permanent residency status conspired to build a machine gun to shoot FBI and other law enforcement agencies if they prevented him from traveling to Syria to join ISIS. He and 2 others from what the heck is with these countries' names? Uzbekistan, both living in Brooklyn, were charged in February 2015 with providing material to support a foreign terrorist organization. 2 female immigrants, one from Saudi Arabia, one from Yemen, one who applied for and received U.S. citizenship, allegedly swore allegiance to ISIS, and pledged to explode a propane tank bomb on U.S. soil. They were arrested April 2015 during an FBI undercover raid on their house in Queens, New York. A Uzbek man in Brooklyn allegedly encountered other Uzbek nationals to wage jihad on behalf of ISIS and raise $1,600 for the terror organization. Their arrests were announced in February and April of 2015. The Boston bombers were invited in as asylum seekers. The young brother applied for citizenship and was naturalized on September 11, 2012. The older brother had a pending application for citizenship. The Moroccan Muslim who came to the United States as a student visa was arrested and charged in April of 2014 with plotting to blow up a university and federal courthouse. This list is still going on. I'm going to stop there because there's only so much we can. I'm going to go on about that. When are people going to get it through their heads? When are they going to get it through their heads? ISIS does not. Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, they do not want to talk. They understand one thing: killing. For them, it's going to be kill or be killed. Whether it has to do with their religion or they want to kill all the other religions, it doesn't matter. If a person's trying to kill you, you don't give a shit what or why they want to kill you. You want to stop them. An immigrant from Afghanistan who later applied for and received U.S. citizenship and a legal permanent resident from the Philippines were convicted September 25th, 2014 for trying to join Al-Qaeda and the Taliban in order to kill Americans. Does anybody see a theme going on? Anybody? They're not. Page isn't responding. This could be the end of her career. Seriously. But she reads the intelligence faithfully. ISIS is not contained. ISIS is expanding. At least somebody is reading those intelligent reports. We know Obama isn't doing it. It has been told time and time again. Those are brought to him first thing in the morning, and he does not read them. He does not care. When are people going to get that through your head? He does not care. And I'm surprised because I do not like Feinstein. I do not like her. She is very anti-gun. But I give credit where credit's due. At least she's reading the reports, and she is taking them seriously. She's not making it into a joke. She understands that ISIS is not contained. Obama doesn't want to speak on it because then it's going to make him look bad because he has been constantly running his mouth about how they're a JV team, how they're not that much of a problem. For whatever reason, and everybody has their own. I'm not going to say who's right and who's wrong on their thoughts on why Obama is doing this. There's a lot of theories. This man is more concerned about legacy than he is about anything else. As it was just put in the chat room. And again, I forgot to mention, as I always forget, go to shrmedia.com. On the right-hand side, scroll down a little bit, and you will see a live chat. Jump in there and join the discussion. I do answer and respond to comments made in the chat room. Yeah, and she has spoken up before, even without election year. Dave put up, only reason Feinstein is speaking up is she's afraid terrorists will wake up too many people before the elections in 2016. And that could be very well. But I've also seen her, when it comes to this stuff with the intelligence, she kind of takes it seriously and has gone against Obama. But I wouldn't doubt it. That's the only reason. People, wake up. Seriously. I mean, look at France. Again, had the fighting last night. Of course, they were taking the fight this time. And they found, supposedly, the head person that planned the attacks. So. Also, don't forget, tonight is Wednesday. We have Revear After Dark at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on shrmedia.com and Pundit Press. All right, go over some articles real quick. For those that don't know, Jindal drops out of the White House race. I've come to the realization that it's not my time. I am suspending my campaign for President of the United States. I cannot tell you what an honor it has been to run for the President of the United States. Hey, he's dropping out. His numbers weren't there. He's stepping to the side. Like he said, it just wasn't his time. I don't dislike the guy. Wasn't his time, and the field was too dang big. You couldn't really gain any tractions with how it was going. There was just too many people in that race. Chris Matthews on MSNBC highlights 2 numbers on the Syrian refugee crisis. And he goes on to, let me finish tonight with 2 numbers that do not make sense. Sorry, I got kind of... Is there just 1 in a million Syrian willing to fight for Syria? Is that the deal? Only 1. Actually, there was 4 people the United States was able to recruit into fighting ISIS in their home country. Only 4 out of 4 million people. That's 1 in 1 million are willing to fight for their own country. And then, people that say we shouldn't be asking them. They have families. We can't ask them to leave their families. They want other countries to step up and fight for them. And I've said that for a while now. They want everybody else to step up. Well, we are asking our guys to step up and leave their families behind, so that these people do not have to leave their families behind. If the crisis we're bringing in mostly children and women, I wouldn't have so much issue because the men are back there fighting for their country. Yes, we should help out. But when it's majority 20-somethings, 30-somethings year-olds that are doing the fighting, or running away, I'm sorry about that, running away, they should be back there fighting for their country. And real quick, yes, David, I liked him too, but the field was just too big and he didn't exactly stand out. I think, according to how elections go, see about 2018, see how he does. Dropping out of the first time you're in it, I don't think is that big of a deal. So, all right, remember, everybody, Monday through Friday, noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can listen to, that's right, Revear Common Sense with the host, me, Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and punditpress.com. And if you miss my show, you can go to Revear Common Sense, or it is aired the next day on rebootingliberty.com. Tonight, every Wednesday, people, Revear After Dark, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You have the Jersey Boys hosting me, Jersey Joe, and Crash, and we give it the news the Jersey way. There is no holds barred, rude, crude, we don't care, we say what we think. Also, next week is going to be Thanksgiving week. There will be no live shows next week. I will return the Monday after. All right, it's time for a commercial break. Be right back after this commercial break.
You have been listening to Revear Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network. In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
you got a business. That you didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people are misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation looking for direction needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, Pundit Press Radio, and YouTube through the SHR Media page for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because the truth is not always pleasant.
Hey, it's Jersey Joe from Revear Common Sense, and we have moved to a new night and time. Every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on shrmedia.com, you will catch the Revear Common Sense uncensored, unfiltered, and only on shrmedia.com.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Lonely sidewalks, silent night, bring the evening deep inside.
and welcome back to the Revear of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe. That's right, we're back. And I just want to make sure all my listeners understand next week is basically vacation time for me. And I want everybody to have pity on me. I'm going up to my in-laws. And they are Democrats. It's going to be fun because basically my wife doesn't get into politics, so I am going to be the only conservative in that household, and it's going to be 2, 4, 5. 5 against 1. Don't get me wrong, I love my in-laws, even though we have different political ideology. And that's what I was trying to bring up when everybody was bashing Trump because he talks to Hillary and all this. I don't expect these politicians, and I'm pretty sure after the day's done at work, they get together and they go out and they have drinks and all that BS. They're not mortal enemies. It's just two different parties. Why can't... Maybe if they got together more often, maybe we can get things done. Maybe we can get some things done in Congress. If they get together and just talk. Get a basic friendship going between the two. Then maybe we can get more stuff done in this country. But when everybody's, oh, Trump talks to Hillary. Yeah, and it also came out that they're like cousins, second cousins or some shit like that. So what? They talk. So what? She went to his wedding. There was a lot of Democrats that went to my wedding, too. Doesn't make me a Democrat. Makes me a bigger person that I can stand up and invite different people. I invite different views. Just don't push them on me. I invite listening to different views. Different views mashed together make better ideas, new ideas. If we all thought the same way, we would do things the same way. There would be no advancement. We'd probably still be running around covered in fur, banging sticks together, you know, living in the caves. Point being, it's just, we wouldn't advance as a culture. We need people with different thoughts. We need people even with wrong thoughts. Because as long as you learn from your mistakes, it's fine. Different ideas come together to create better ideas. It just, you have to respect one another. You have to respect the other person's opinion. And that's what we don't have going on. People are not respecting other people. They expect everybody to think the same. And I hate to say it, from my point of view, from my seat, I see the Democrats doing that mostly. They want their view only. David, also, don't forget, this is the unpleasant blind guy. And he lives up in Vermont. And he said, dude, in January in Vermont, sometimes I want to be covered in fur. Gotta settle for the beard, though. I can understand that. I'm going to pack. I mean, it's maybe low 80s today. You know, we'll be in the 80s all week. And then I'm going to fly up there into 30s and 40 weather. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to going to that weather. All right. Now, this happened yesterday. Heavy casualties feared after Nigerian bomb explodes. Heavy casualties are feared after a bomb blast ripped through packed crowds in Yola, northeast Nigeria, just days after the president visited, declaring that terrorist organization Boko Haram was close to defeat. The best definition, Dave, I heard for compromise is both parties walk away not happy. Because if one party's walking away happy, they didn't give up that much. But yes, the left's always screaming for compromise, and I've seen it with Reid and Obama. They scream. They want compromise, but it's going to be their way or no way. That's not a compromise. But it seems like Nigeria has the same type of president we do. Goes out and says how Boko Haram was close to defeat. And then they ignite a bomb in a crowded area. The explosion happened in the midst of a large crowd because the area houses a livestock market, an open-air eatery, and a mosque. Initial reports suggest that 32 people were killed and 80 injured. I've read that other thing, and it is a way higher number. But at least we're not the only ones with a stupid president that says contained. Like I said earlier, I think he was meaning contained to the planet. He would be right at that point. They were contained to planet Earth. There's an article over here. Paris attacks in St. Denis. Raid officers have never experienced so much heavy fire. When they went in, I was listening, someone on Twitter recorded it, and you just heavy gunfire and explosions. It just didn't seem to stop. All right, Putin reveals 40 countries that are funding ISIS at the G20 summit. At least somebody is speaking up and talking about stuff and not playing games at the G20 summit like our president. I provided examples based on our data on financing of different ISIS units by private individuals. This money, as we have established, comes from 40 countries, and there are some of the G20 members. So, in the middle of a G20 summit, he is out in countries that are backing ISIS. I love it. Actually, he has the balls to come out there and call a spade a spade. I never thought for the life of me I would be agreeing and complimenting a Russian president. And I was born in the 70s, but there was still the Cold War going on. And I remember the 80s, and it started getting real bad, and then that's where it finally fell apart. Sorry, I'm trying to pull something up, and the website kept clicking the wrong page. But at least they have somebody that's going to speak. I'm not saying that I trust Putin. I know he is not out for our best adventures. You're going to have to look it up. There is a video that gives all the countries. Again, I want to give this speech or saying out because it really applies to today. And I really want to push this in people's minds because they need to understand it. They need to think about this when they're going to the polls and voting. Real quick, seems we have... Let's see if I can pull it up. I'm trying to pull up the soundbite from the gunfire. My computer's acting wonky. All right, here it is. bass in the background, that is explosions. Yeah, that's what Paris had at about, what was it, like 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. That's what they got to listen to. And thank you, Unpleasant Blind Guy, Dave, for getting that for me. But this saying, you need to think about this and really embed it in your thoughts before you vote for anybody. Now more than ever before, the people are responsible for the character of their Congress. If that body be ignorant, reckless, and corrupt, it is because the people tolerate ignorance, recklessness, and corruption. Let me say that again. If that body be ignorant, reckless, and corrupt, it is because the people tolerate ignorance, recklessness, and corruption. If it be intelligent, brave, and pure, it is because the people demand these high qualities to represent them in the national legislate. If the next century does not find us a great nation, it will be because those who represent the enterprise, the culture, and the morality of the nation do not aid in controlling the political force. James Garfield. And that's what we find ourselves in today. And with that, it is time for one of those evil breaks. Be right back right after these commercial breaks.
You have been listening to Revear Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network. In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people are misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation looking for direction needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, Pundit Press Radio, and YouTube through the SHR Media page for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because the truth is not always pleasant.
Hey, it's Jersey Joe from Revear of Common Sense, and we have moved to a new night and time every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on shrmedia.com. You will catch the Revear of Common Sense uncensored, unfiltered, and only on shrmedia.com.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome back to the Reverb Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe. There's so much information to go over and so little time. It seems like with these shows, it's either feast or famine. So it seems the rats are jumping ship. And what I mean by that is the Democrats are leaving Obama behind. There is 2 or 3 Democratic governors now have signed on to the no refugees in their country. Charles Schumer from New York is now agreeing that a refugee pause may be necessary. And I know I heard one other Democratic governor talking about that, or Democratic senator. And I can't remember. I think it might just be Feinstein. So, a couple of Democrats actually, I'm happy to see that they can think on their own and separate and be able to do stuff like that. I'm shocked that they're finally jumping ship, but, elections are coming up, so they are going to do whatever's necessary, to survive. And yesterday, Germany and Netherlands soccer game in Hanover canceled after a serious bomb threat. Now, the reports are going back and forth, and I have heard and read, well, I heard the translation, from the chief in that town, the police chief, and he said that there was a truck made up to look like an ambulance that was filled with explosives. Now, Chancellor Merkel was on her way to that game. It's funny because she's always screaming about the immigrants, or refugees, excuse me. Total brain fart. She has been, very up there screaming, we have to do this, we have to do that. She's threatened civil war with her own country. And yet, no one's showing appreciation. It looks like they were going to try to assassinate her, just as they tried to assassinate the Prime Minister of France. So Dave is saying the Muslims do not want to piss off the soccer hooligans. Talk about a civil war. Well, I mean, Germany is already, the people are fighting against it. I mean, they're setting stuff on fire. Every time they announce, okay, we're going to put the refugees here, they go and burn it down. They do not want them. I got several friends that live in England. And there is towns that they cannot go in because the Muslims have taken over. And you're not welcome into your own country, to this little area in your country that you were born and raised in. You are not allowed there because these Muslims have taken over. I've seen video after video after video. And they scream when we don't treat them nicely. They're not exactly having open arms. And it's not kind of like, oh, well, you're saying this about us, so we're going to act this way. No. They're saying, well, this is ours. We've taken it over. Screw you. Up yours. And again, I'm not going to classify all Muslims this way. I won't. I can't. Just as in everything, you have good and bad. You've had it with... You have good and bad in everything. And right now, the majority of what you see is about the bad of Muslims. I'm not going to just land-based the whole culture. No, can't do it. But the other Muslims need to step up. The ones that don't agree with what's going on, they need to step up and speak out loud. They need to say, no, we will not stand for this anymore. Yes, I know you're going to put your lives on the line to do that. And what do you think we are doing, speaking up and fighting these wars on behalf of other people? We could so easily just fall back into our country and just protect our borders and say, nope, not doing it. But we don't. We have died. Our sons, our brothers, our uncles, our fathers have bled, have given up limbs to try to make people's lives better. But well, those that are the moderates need to stand up. They need to say no more. So, I know I went on a little tangent there off of, reporting about, bombs at a soccer game in Germany. But, it goes to my point that the chancellor is standing up for the Muslims, and look what happens. France wasn't really bothering the Muslims. They have a high population of Muslims. And look what happened. You got threats in Sweden now that they've bumped their alerts up. Britain. All over. Yeah. Ken, the conservative, is also in the chat room now. Obama is a better ambassador to Islam than the President of the United States. He cares more about that than he does about protecting us. He cares more about these Muslim countries and ISIS. I have no idea. My computer just... resources just went nuts on it real quick. And that's what I have a problem with Obama. He seems to care more about everybody else. He cares more about people from South America. He's taken money away from veterans that need help, that have been dying, literally dying, waiting on help. And he's taking that money and going to put it in a fund so that we can give money to the Syrian refugees when they come here, so that they have housing. And they can go to Walmart and shop. Why aren't we taking care of our own? Why aren't we taking care of these veterans? They're screaming for help. And you know what? Congress has just much turned their back on them. Because they're not doing anything. Nothing. They're doing zero. To stop Obama from doing this. The Democrats just keep going along. Well, when are we as a country? Because one of the main things they do, they keep us fighting each other. They keep Democrat supporters and conservatives and even the independents. We're all fighting each other, arguing. Because they know if they didn't keep that going, we would settle our differences sooner or later. band together, and, well, that would be the end of the current government we have. Because if we stood up together, we would be able to control the government. The government should be fearing us, not us fearing them. I'm hearing Paul Ryan is calling for, we got to stop the refugees. We got to pause it. And then I'm hearing it, and it's just a big smoke screen to make him look good to conservatives. But yeah, and he's going to allow it to go through whether we like it or not. Anybody see about the Clinton Foundation amended 4 or 5 years worth of tax return and disclosed millions in foreign contribution? We all knew it. They denied it, called us crazy. Oh, just Republican theory, conspiracy theory. They're out to get me. They're out to get me. Guess what? She did have millions upon millions of foreign donations. The Clinton Foundation will amend its tax returns for the last 4 years to correct errors in the report of donations from foreign governments. Foundation President Donna said in a statement that the returns were revised after a voluntary review of the charity's past tax returns. She added that the corrections were not required by law. There is no change in our bottom line numbers, assets, liabilities, and net assets. Donna wrote in a statement to the foundation supporters that was obtained by Reuters. There is nothing to suggest that the foundation intended to conceal the receipts of government grants, which we reported on our website. Yeah, and what had to happen for you to finally admit all that stuff? It took Judicial Watch and all these other groups sticking their nose and pushing it. Yep, Dave, and that's what I was saying. People, or our government, the elites, fear a united people. We, the people. They fear that. God, do they fear that. The day we finally come together is the day they know they're done with their scamming. I just want to remind everybody, Monday through Friday, noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on shrmedia.com and punditpress.com. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense with the host, me, Jersey Joe. If you miss my show, you can go to reaverofcommonsense.com. I carry all my past shows, and I even carry Sackhead Radio Show. Sackhead Radio. Sackhead Show. Someone hit me upside the head. I want most of the show without getting tongue twisters. I even have their past shows on my website. While you're there, left-hand side, click the like button. And if you would put your email in on the pop-up, I don't even get to see it. I am control of the web page, and I don't even have it set up where I can see the emails. They're safe, they're secure, they're not going anywhere. All it does is, when I post a new show or a new article, it sends an mail out letting you know. Also remember, every Wednesday night, from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Reaver After Dark, hosted by the Jersey Boys. That's right, me, Jersey Joe, and Crash. And with that, I'd leave you till tonight. Have a good night.
I've been around this world, yet I see no end. All shall fade to black again and again. This storm that's broken me, my only friend, yeah. In this river all shall fade.
You're listening to Rebooting Liberty Radio Network, compelling and entertaining talk.
Don't touch that dial.